Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So before I start this video, I need to give a huge shout out to the Corvette community. My last video I did on the 93 Corvette that we had, I felt like it was time because I've had 7 C4s, so I felt like it was time to give my opinion on that generation. Because when I was in school, I graduated in 97, that was the car to have. If you had a Corvette, I mean, you were just bigger than the average person. So I did that video, and I believe right now it's got around 7,000 views. But that one video took me to 100 subscribers. So guys, I appreciate it. It means a lot for the positive feedback I've got on the video. I mean, I don't think we've had one negative comment. It was just great positive feedback, and guys, I appreciate it. Now, I've sold that car since then, but keep your eyes out because we are looking for newer ones. I'm currently looking at a 96 Collector's Edition. We're looking at a couple Grand Sports. So I believe the next one I get is going to have the LT4. We're going to go out after a keeper on this one. In that video, I mentioned that other than the C4 Corvette, one of my favorite cars of all time to drive is our supercharged Mini Cooper. So that's what we're doing a video on today. This car was a one-owner car. It was extremely well maintained. I mean, I've got service history going back to when the car was new. The guy even had the window sticker laminated to preserve it for the history of the car. Now, if I was ordering this car new in 2005, pretty much the only changes I would do is I would have ordered it electric blue. This one's chili red. But it's got everything. It's got the limited slip, it's got the heated seats, it's got front and rear fog lights, it's got the bumper driving lights. I mean, the guy ordered everything that you could ask for. It's even got the darker black headliner to where most of them were light gray. Now, this is my 10th Mini Cooper. This is my 9th supercharged Mini Cooper. Typically, I only buy 05 or 06. I always get the 6-speed because of the 0506 supercharger was Teflon coated, a little better. And the 6-speed, if you're going to get a car that is a driver's car, the 6-speed really makes you feel connected to the car. So that is always what I look for. I don't buy any automatics. Now, I've loved the Coopers since the late 90s with old classic Coopers. I saw these in 2002, and I fell in love with BMW's design on these. And this was before the Italian Job. And in 2003, when the Italian Job come out, everybody was buying them. They blew up after that movie. But I've been a fan before that. And as you can hear, the supercharger whine is just amazing. And you're driving it. I put a sticker on every Cooper I buy, and it says street legal goat kart. And that's exactly what this car is. It is a oversized goat kart. You're driving it down the road. It hugs the corners better than the Corvettes, but you can consistently get 26 to 29 miles a gallon. I've got as high as 31 just cruising the interstates. But it's a car that you can have fun in. You can use it as a weekend driver. It's amazing in the mountains on the curvy roads. It's just an all-around fun car. And with the size of it, you feel like you would be cramped and there just wouldn't be any room. But there's actually a lot more room than you realize in this car. I've got a buddy of mine that's 6'2". He drives the car very comfortably. No issues at all. He does have to push the front seat back. Now, this one is just a standard S. It's got a 13% pulley. It's got an Alta airbox. I'm going to change that to a DDM Works airbox. And then also I'm going to do a DDM air diverter just to give a little more air to the intercooler to keep it a little cooler. But there's the John Cooper Works. Those things are a blast to drive. And then there's the GP. If you're fortunate enough to get a GP, you're going to spend close to 20 grand. You can pick up a 05, 06 supercharge. Right now, the prices are higher than normal, but pretty common. You can find these cars from $4,000 to $6,000 in really, really good shape. And the motors on these cars, if you maintain it, you'll get 300,000 miles out of it as long as you maintain it. Now, for those that are watching the video that are a little more mechanically inclined than I am with these cars, one of the big controversies I see is the supercharger. Some people say rebuild it at 100,000, do new O-rings, new fluid. Then you hear some people say it's not necessary. I've never done one. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. If you have them, rebuild. If you don't, or if you just drive it till it breaks, then upgrade the supercharger. Now, from what I understand, these are made by Eaton, and I can't really get a direct answer out of them of what they recommend. So hopefully you guys can help me on that. Now, when it comes to these cars, my biggest thing I love about them, you get in it, you drive, and this car will put a smile on your face like nothing else. It's super responsive. It brakes really well. When you're going through curvy roads, you really just want to hit it. Do 60, 70 in a 45 mile an hour curve, knowing you're not supposed to, but it will handle the curve with no issues. The thing you've got to watch out for is when you're on the interstate, you're driving, and you don't realize it, you look down, you're doing 85, 90 miles an hour, because this car is literally a big, oversized go-kart. So if you've never driven one of these, I highly suggest you get one, go drive it, enjoy it. See if you got a friend that's got one, if they'll let you drive it. I guarantee you the first time you drive one of these cars, you're going to be hooked just like I was. Now, the downside, there isn't much storage space in the back. With these cars made by BMW, they don't call it a trunk, they call it a boot and a bonnet for your hood. But when you lift the boot in the back, you'll fit a very small bag. You could get by with one person overnight, but you can lay the back seats down. That gives you a little bit more room. You can get by with a weekend trip for two on that. The back seats are almost useless for full-size adults. Now, if you got a short adult, they may work. Middle school kid, you'll be fine. The way the seats angle, you really have plenty of seat room. It's just leg room you got to worry about. I'm a short guy. I'm only about 5'7" and a half. Always got to have the half. But for me, if somebody sits in the back seat behind me, they're going to have enough leg room. If you're 5'10", 6 foot tall, you're going to have room, but whoever's behind you will not have room. Now, the other thing with these, because they are so compact, it doesn't take much speaker to really blow you out of this car. You can upgrade the 6.5s in the doors and the tweeters. The rear 6x9s are pretty useless. You can put one 10-inch sub in the back, and you'll feel like you're at a concert in the front row. The sound really amplifies in these really, really well with your stereo. Now, as far as road noise, they're really quiet. You'll hear the supercharger at high speeds, 70, 90 miles an hour. The wind is not ridiculous. They do great in the rain. I've had them in the snow. Being front-wheel drive, they do handle the snow very well. But with anything, you got to be smart. If your tires aren't good, don't get out on the interstates doing 60 miles an hour in the rain and expect that it's going to hug the road. Overall, the cars are amazing. They're a pain in the ass to work on. When it comes to something as simple as an alternator, you've got to take the passenger wheel off, take the inner fender out, take the bumper off. You got to have a special belt tool. There's not a whole lot on these cars other than, doing spark plugs, coil, air filters, basic things like that. There's not much on these cars that's really easy to do. But if you've got some mechanical ability, you've got some patience, you'll get through it just fine. But the good thing is my experience with 10 of these cars, I've never had to do a ton of maintenance. I've had to do alternators, I've done belts, I've upgraded the supercharger pulleys on a couple of them. But other than that, they've just been fantastic cars. I've never had any major issues. So if you're one of the ones that you've looked at the cars, but you've been afraid of the price of maintenance, you've been worried that because BMW makes it, it's going to be super expensive, don't worry about that. parts are not as expensive as you think they are. There's a lot of mechanics that actually do work on these, and they're really not as bad as you would think. Now, the one thing I'll tell you that's a pain in the butt for everybody, I actually bought a 2006 for $1,500 because it had an unmetered air code, and it just pissed the guy off so bad that he didn't want to deal with it. He couldn't get rid of the code. On the passenger side, right under the intercooler, there's a little vacuum hose there, and a lot of times it looks like it's on, but it's stretched out a little bit. All you've got to do is pull it off, put a zip tie on it, put it back on, cinch the zip tie down. Normally that's going to get rid of that unmetered air code. That's been my experience. I've had 3 that have had that on. All 3 of them, that fixed the problem. Another common issue is the throttle body. Fortunately, that's not terrible to get to. A couple 10mm bolts, you got it off. So again, don't be afraid of the maintenance on the cars. These are a great car to have. They're a blast to drive. So guys, I hope you like this video. Give me a like. If you're in the Mini community, let's see if we can get this video up higher than the Corvette community. I'm not 100% sure that you guys can do that, but let's see what happens. A little experiment. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel, like the video. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. For some reason, YouTube does not want to show the small guys' videos. They only want to show the major channels. So if you guys have made it this long, like the video for me. Let's see if we can push this channel up. The next video we're going to do is going to be a little bit of positivity. It's going to be something to help you get by with the day-to-day crap that we've got going on in this world. I try to stay away from politics. I know that all that does is divide people, so I'm not going to get into politics on this channel, but we will get into stuff that's going to help you if you're dealing with depression, if you're just dealing with, job issues, you don't know what to do with your job, your business. I'm going to try to help you guys with that a little bit. So again, the channel is a man, his toys, and his thoughts. So we're sharing the toys, but I also want to share my thoughts about this world and what we've got going on. Thank you guys for watching. We'll talk to you later.